Hi folks, I'm Andrew, and in this video I want to show you my two bikes from Canyon. These are two very different bikes for very different purposes. I want to give you a brief description of the spec of each of the bikes, what I like and what I don't like, and then I'm going to consider the ultimate nightmare scenario that I might have to get rid of one of these bikes. Which one would I get rid of and why? So let's take a quick look at these two bikes. This is my Canyon Aeroad, it's an 8.0 carbon fibre. It's a CF SLX 8.0 disc with Ultegra group set throughout and Di2 electronic shifting. This is the second bike that I've owned with Di2 and I absolutely love electronic shifting. It's got Reynolds Strike deep section wheels. I really like the disc brakes. They're really strong and powerful. It's super rigid, fast, and very, very lightweight. The bike weighs in at just over 8 kilograms, and I fitted it with Garmin Vector 3 power meter pedals. If you want a power meter that's versatile, then these pedals are a good option because you can take this off and fit it to any bike. So if I do ever sell this bike or get rid of it, then I can keep my power pedals and put them on my next bike. So what do I like best about this bike? I absolutely love the aesthetics. I think it's a super nice looking bike. Now before I go any further, I am also going to apologise for this hideously ugly stem head that I still haven't got around to cutting off, and that'll improve the aesthetics of this bike even more. The bike is very comfortable to ride. It's really responsive and agile and surprisingly comfortable actually, even for longer rides. I know that aerodynamic bikes are supposed to be sort of more uncomfortable because they stretch the rider out, but I haven't really had any problems at all. I love riding it. I ride it on my club rides, I ride it on Audax. Being an aerodynamic bike, it's fantastic for those solo rides where you're battling a headwind or you're really trying to get some speed up. I suppose if I could wave a magic wand and ask the Canyon designers to sort out this cabling here, it could easily be routed down through the head here, and that would really tidy up that front end. So take a look at the Aeroad from the front, super aerodynamic. But isn't it a shame that they couldn't put this cabling inside the stem and the down tube? Like most riders, you want to carry a bike computer, and I've got a Garmin out front, but this is a specific component from Canyon, so you're a little bit limited. If you go for this bike, that's the only one that will fit. I'm not aware of any third-party alternatives. And what about my other bike? This is my Canyon Exceed 7.0 Pro. It's a hardtail mountain bike. It's a CF SL version. It's fitted with a SRAM group set throughout. The bike has got hydraulic disc brakes front and back. It's got front end suspension. It's got 110 millimeters of travel with this RockShox shock absorber. Very, very robust. This part is aluminium, but the rest of the frame is carbon fibre. It has a one-by system, so it doesn't have triggers for changing gear, it just has the one twist grip. So this is the twist grip for the single shifting, and just turn this part of the grip here, and each click is indexed for one of the gears. It works really nicely. You can change 3 gear chains in any one turn when you're going up the cassette, and almost continuously down when you're going down the cassette. So this Exceed has got a SRAM Eagle rear cassette with a small cog with 10 teeth and a large cog with 50 teeth, giving you a 500% ratio, and is a lot bigger than the front chainring, which is 34 tooth. So one rotation at the front is resulting in less than one rotation at the back when you're in this large ring. And it's got DT Swiss XR 29er wheels, really chunky Maxxis tyres. I've decided to fit it with these Crank Brother reversible pedals. So this side of the pedal you can clip in, and on this side it's a flat, so you can ride this bike either with cycling specific shoes or just with a trainer. Very lightweight bike, it only comes in at about 10 kilograms. So there you have it folks, my Canyon Exceed hardtail mountain bike. A really nice, robust, strong and lightweight cross-country bike. Awesome. If you decide to buy a Canyon bike, you can go on their website and you have to fill out some of your personal dimensions, like the length of your inside leg, your overall height. Then there's a little calculation and a chart that works out what size of bike is right for you. And it came out as an extra large. Now, strangely, a year later, I put in exactly the same dimensions when I was ordering my Canyon Exceed. And in that situation, it came out as a large frame, not an extra large, which was slightly perplexing.
I haven't changed.
Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the Canyon Aeroad up against the Exceed just so that you can see the different profiles. So if we put that on there. This is the extra large frame of the Aeroad, and that's the large frame of the Exceed. And they really are very, very comparable. You can see the straight crossbar of the Aeroad, the slanting crossbar of the Exceed. If we come back to the seat posts here, you can see that I've got the saddles at virtually the same position. The distance between the seat and the reach is not that different. Obviously, when I'm on the drops, I'm leaning a little bit further forward on the Aeroad. So up front here, look, you can clearly see that the front end of the Aeroad is a lot lower. The handlebars are on the Exceed are quite a bit higher. So about 10 to 15 centimeters. Just look at how tiny this profile is on the Aeroad. Obviously much bigger frontal area on the Exceed. Here's the Reynolds Strike, and you can see the rotor disc here is quite a bit smaller, and it's a sort of more solid design where the braking disc on the Exceed is a much larger diameter. The rear met and the rear axle sits slightly lower on the Aeroad compared to the Exceed. The bottom bracket is a little bit lower on the Aeroad and a much better clearance on the Exceed. Both of these bikes are in what is termed stealth black. It's a sort of matte finish with grey decals. Right folks, so this is the moment of truth when I contemplate the unthinkable, and if I had to get rid of one of these bikes, which bike would I get rid of? Which bike would I keep, and why? Oh my goodness me, what a tough call. I got the Aeroad first, and that's because I'm predominantly a road rider. I had a look at my Strava account here, and it says that on my Aeroad I've done just over 6,000 kilometers in total on that bike. I ride it 3 of the 4 months of the year, that's spring, summer and autumn, and I ride it almost every week with my cycling club, that's Iceni Velo here in Norwich. Other features about the Aeroad that I love, the electronic shifting, I like the rider position. I think it looks so cool. Even if I didn't ride it, I could put it on my wall and just look at it as a piece of art. It's the perfect bike for road use, speed and distance. It's lightweight, it's agile, what more can I say? This is my go-to bike. What about the Canyon Exceed? Well, I got the Canyon Exceed predominantly so that I could explore off-road. Now, I'm pretty new to mountain biking and I've only been doing it for a few years, but getting this bike has allowed me to venture to places that I would not normally have ever gone to. My Strava account says that my Canyon Exceed I've done just over 2,150 kilometers. So I've used it less, but that's because I usually ride the Exceed more in the winter months when I'm not out on the road. So this gives me the ability to ride all year round. Of course, I do a lot of riding on the road on it, and I've taken this bike all the way from Norwich up to Northallerton in North Yorkshire, which was just under 400 kilometers over 3 days when I went out bike packing. That bike, you know, is incredibly versatile. Fitted it with saddlebags, frame bags, things up front. It takes the weight, is durable and robust, and I can have some great fun on this bike. So if these bikes were my children, you know, I love them both as much as each other, both from the same parenthood, but very different in their DNA, aren't they? So that's the overview of my 2 bikes. Now, it's the decision. Drum roll, please. This is the moment of truth, and I have to decide which bike do I keep and which bike do I get rid of. The bike that I will keep is the